What's up, guys? So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about a character that has really, stepped it up in terms of results lately. And that's Corin. In the past year, went from, no Corrin's at all to Neo and Chaddock solo meeting her to amazing results. Spargo's using her as a secondary and doing well with her. And yeah, so what happened? Why is she so good now, out of nowhere? First of all, let's talk about her buffs. They buffed her a lot. They buffed literally every aerial got buffed at some point. And forward smash and up smash, especially forward smash, got significantly buffed multiple times. They buffed side B an insane amount of times as well. Same with up B, right? That's a lot of her kit being buffed. And the thing is, I think each of these buffs individually, actually, every time she got buffed, they were pretty significant amount. Forward smash got multiple buffs in 8.0. Forward air got a huge damage buff. 1.5% is actually huge for when you get 3 in a combo. It's actually 4.5%. Back air got a kill power buff, and it was already a good kill move. Same as up air, got a damage buff without full knockback compensations. Each of those buffs individually is massive, right? They got all these at once. So before I talk about what happened with Corin in Ultimate and why I think these buffs were overlooked, I want to talk about her in Smash 4. So Smash 4 Corin was very good. She was probably 10th or 11th best guy. I think she was from 11th to 13th on most tier lists. So good, but not top tier, top of high tier generally. The thing about Corin is she released at the same time as Bayonetta. Now, I don't gotta tell you, Bayonetta was a broken character, right? So if you have the choice between labbing Corin, who's this character seems pretty good, Pin seems really strong, or Bayonetta, oh my god, why the... She's killing us all at 0, and she's safe, and which time is broken, what is this up B and recovery? You're gonna lap Bayonetta over Corin. Bayonetta's just objectively cooler when you look at all the crazy stuff she's doing, and she was objectively broken and super easy to see on release. So, Corin kind of got pushed to the wayside with only really good players switching to her being Cosmos. So it's as a result, I think she was not explored nearly enough in Smash 4 and could have honestly been a much better character than she was. So, how is this relevant to Ultimate? So, when Ultimate Corin came out, they nerfed her side B. And Corin's side B was her main broken point in Smash 4. She had some good stuff, but this move single-handedly carried matchups. I remember Olimar Corin was legitimately unwinnable for Olimar because of this move. It was so bad. And her frame traps were good, her recovery was okay. She is good in a lot of places, but this move was especially ridiculous. And they toned it down a lot in Ultimate. Even though it's a good move, it no longer is a one button do everything move. So when you consider the fact that otherwise her meta was still underdeveloped, it makes sense how when Ultimate comes out, they nerf that move, people don't quite know her capabilities and they say, oh, she kind of stinks. No amount of buffs is really going to change that if people don't really know how to play her to her fullest, the entire kit effectively. And also, she kind of has issue of just, in my opinion, I know I play Olimar Min Rosa, right? So my opinion on this might not be a good one to most people, but I think she's a boring character. Just visually speaking, she's boring. In the games, I think she's just a very boring, lifeless character. I know someone's about to go, Dabuz, how can you hate on Corin and Fire Emblem? You Fire Emblem nerd, shush. Yeah, I think she's boring visually, just character-wise, source-wise, whatever. Mechanics-wise, she doesn't really have mechanics, right? Her mechanics is the pin move, side B, and then things like forward smash, up smash, her dragon form moves, which make her a bit different than most sorting. But compare that to Ultimate, where you have characters with Arsene, Hero Menu, Incineroar is one touching you, all this crazy stuff, mechanics, cool movement, sick visuals in Ultimate, and she really doesn't stand out. I think people just aren't gonna play her for that reason. And that is why it's taken so long for everyone, myself included, to realize, hey, Corrin's actually a really good character. And now, what makes her good though, right? What's really changed about this character? She requires a lot of specific knowledge, I think, to be effective. And let me explain what I mean. So, for example, Pin. Pin is an amazing move if you know how to use it, right? Great whiff punish, because it goes pretty far. It can kill. You can get some combos sometimes. It can be pretty safe. Like, it does a lot. You have to know how to use it, right? You have to know, like, oh, I'm looking to whiff punish, like, this character doing, like, this tilt with a pin, right? Or this character doing an aerial. Like, you're looking for, like, specific spots for this pin. That requires character knowledge, which requires the meta to evolve. Or pin as a 2-frame edge guard. You have to know what characters you can 2-frame with this, which requires a while to learn and get consistent at. So, like, you're going to be going, like, okay, characters, like, recover in a certain way. So I can pin those characters, but not other ones. And I got pin at this timing and not that timing, right? That's a big issue, right? And, like, that kind of applies to all of us. Up B. For up B is really good, but you have to know where you're up being. Some characters just can't really hit this, like, at all. Other characters can hit it, but have to commit to it. So you have to, like, up B and kind of, like, drift like that instead. Some characters, like, you need to up B quickly. Some characters, you have to, like, delay your recovery. It really depends, but the point is, her recovery is very good, but exploitable if you don't know how to perfectly use it. So that requires some knowledge. Frame trapping. Frame trapping with, like, up airs and fairs, really strong, but you have to understand characters' fall speeds, know how to frame trap their air dodges exactly. Understand, like, oh, is this character on air dodge, or are they trying to double jump out of combos? How does DI affect it, right? Because, like, you have to know basically quite a bit about how the character's mechanics work. I think that's a big part of why people didn't think she was good, is that she requires all that execution, right? And then she just has some combos people just didn't figure out for a while, I feel like. Forward air, back air as a kill confirm in the corner. Like, really good. People just didn't know about this. Or, like, nair back air. Really solid. People just getting better at parrying helps a lot, because things like parry down tilt up air can be really solid for killing. Or, like, parry air or, like, tipper forward smash. Amazing kill option, right? Corin also benefits, in my opinion, from the fact that Ultimate has gotten much more defensive over time. You got so much Steve, Sonic, Game & Watch, right? Characters that don't have great approaches, but are really good at walling you out. And she's really good at dealing with that because she's good at walling people out. She has these massive aerials with, like, very little lag that a slower, floatier character can't reliably get past. You use platforms especially in doing things like fall through platform aerial. Like, this is just amazing walling. Just straight up, like, good luck getting past this. That's also scary. That's... When I saw Corrin'S doing that, I was like, oh, hold up. That's spooky, right? So, she's really benefited from the characters that you tend to find nowadays, along with all those advancements. And then even other things, right? Like, finding out, like, if someone's shielding that, like, forward smash on block basically guarantees, like, a full, like, charged forward smash to connect. It's like that. Or people getting used to using suicide down airs. And there is... I can point at so many specific things. And I think that's the interesting part about this character. I still can't point to one specific aspect of the character and say, oh, this is the reason the character is good and why this character is underrated. And now we're not getting patches anymore, especially. I think people are exploring characters more than they didn't explore before. Players who are using characters that they enjoy and not trying to pick, like, the top tiers are getting enough experience in the game. Like, I think what Shattuck's, like, 16 or 17. Like, he's very new to Smash, relatively speaking. And he just plays Corin because he likes Corin. And, like, you know, a top player is not going to pick up Corin when they want to win when Ultimate releases. So, you're seeing the younger players who just push the characters they like really figure them out finally because the game's so old now. We could have had a universe where, like, no one even knew this character was good. If no one just said, I like playing Corin, I don't think anyone would have batted an eye at Corin and said, yo, this character's good. Everyone would have gone, oh, you know, Corin's okay. A little bit slow, has some good frame traps, but nothing special. I also want to really shout out one attribute of Corin that people oftentimes underrate. Corin has a frame 8 dash shield. So most characters, when they dash and shield, can't shield until like 10 or 11 frames into the dash. She can do it on 8th frame. Or is it 9th, whatever it is. The point is, it's faster than average. So she's able to, just like Sheik, run up and block pressure, projectiles, whatever. And that's really important for taking space, especially when, if you're near her, like, she just controls it super safely and easily. Like, this is just, like, deal with this is obnoxious. Alright? It also means she can parry a little bit easier because she's able to run up, shield, drop shield quicker than other characters. Meaning, like, she can run up, block obvious aerial, and parry in situations other characters couldn't. So yeah, and that is why Corin has developed so much. Now, is Corin going to keep getting better? Is she going to be a top 20 character, maybe even top 10 eventually? I don't know. I could see top 20 for her. I don't think she would be like a god tier character. But this character really doesn't have any particularly exploitable weak points. Like, they're strong in a lot of spots, but there's no like single weakness where I'm like, oh, you just beat this character this way. So being well-rounded generally means you have a lot of room for growth, as you're not gonna get exploited super hard as people get better at the matchup. And I could be wrong, right? You know, character's still developing, but that's my opinion of what's gonna happen with this character. So guys, hope you found this interesting, and that's it for the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree? Maybe there are major weaknesses I didn't think about you guys can point out, or even strengths I didn't point out. I'm not a Corin expert, obviously. So, bye.